our first honoree, Cara Andrade from Austin.
Great, thank you. So it's really a pleasure to be here, and I wanted to start with a story because I'm a journalist, and so that's what we do. We tell stories, and usually they have to be nonfiction. In 1982, before my mother and I began a 4,070-mile trek from Guatemala City to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, she put a disposable camera into my hand. Does anyone here raise your hand if you remember these disposable cameras? Oh, okay, good, because I've often said these things and like people go, what is she talking about? But you know what I'm talking about. They had a 20, 25 exposure. So she put that in my hand and she told me, use this camera. One day people will want to know how hard it is to come to this country. And from that moment on, I began to understand the power of authoring my own life and of sharing the pictures in my head with others. And neither my mother at the time or myself, we knew what this whole thing was starting, but it really was my love affair with storytelling. And the passion would take many forms in my life, and it would eventually lead to journalism and to teaching. I'm actually currently a doctoral student in communications at American University, and I teach as well a lot of undergraduates who don't know what disposable cameras are. But you see, my story is that I was a daughter of generations of United Fruit Company banana pickers. And I come from the plantations of Guatemala, and the very remote part of northeastern Guatemala, and I never imagined that I would have the power that I was entitled to and that I could actually author my own life. And my people smuggling mother, the unstoppable, disruptive force in my life that she has always been, for better or for worse, she has taught me that no matter what gender you are, what race, what class, what country, what educational level, or what remote part of the world you're in, that you are, in fact, entitled to craft your story and your life any way that you want, and to tell the events and the things that matter to you. So in 2007, I co-founded Alba Centro Not-for-Profit, and it was intended as a way to teach young people to learn to author their lives using mobile phones, much like I did with my camera, but using phones that are much more accessible to them. And I wanted to also have a space for them to share these stories with a more global audience. And so it launched in Guatemala first, and then it's become this larger citizen journalism network in Latin America. People share anonymously, and so like a lot of young people have actually started writing for that, and they are also running the websites. And so people use whatever means they can at this point with all the websites, and it goes beyond young people, computers, email, and cell phones to contribute to the websites. And we've actually been able to teach other people to use the website and launch them in 10 different countries, and to use citizen journalism to tell stories and to really set the agenda of what's important to them. And what you're seeing increasingly is that people are using these digital tools to set the agenda of what matters to them most, and for governance, right? And so, like Dewey, I see technology as a means rather than an end, and it is a tool of education, and it's a way to overcome poverty. It's been definitely my story, and so if you combine it with training, I think technology can be very powerful, and it can give you a real sense of agency, both to do good in your life and in other people's lives. And for me, it's really an honor and a privilege to be nominated for this award. I have to give a shout out to Humberto Perez, and also to Brad Eller, my husband, who are continually inspiring me. I think it's very important to always be surrounded by people that inspire you. And it gives me also a lot of strength to see this room filled, because sometimes when we do these projects and the things that really we're very passionate about, we feel alone in that process. And so it's good to feel like I'm not alone doing the work of helping citizens find and use their voice and the technology to craft their own lives. And I think Joe Cocker said it best, the journey is always easier when you have a little help from your friends. So thank you.